Hey folks, this is Santa Claus in border socks, or rather Zmay. You are on Ethology Pro, where we say nasty things and kick anyone we trip over. Today, we tripped over indoctrination again. There were many comments on the last video, a lot of debate, but the conversation isn't about that. It is about how everything is connected. My point of view is simple. All men are living under one big lie. We are talking about male upbringing, childhood indoctrination, gender relations, and the economic situation. It is all mixed together. Sit down, this will be a long one. When people talk about relationships, they usually stay inside a tiny cage of gender issues. They are afraid to look outside. But I see a direct link between indoctrination and money. People say A, but they refuse to say B. They try to reduce everything to interpersonal squabbles. But these are not personal squabbles. They have been systemic for a long time. It is easy for a psychologist to say it is all your fault. And I say it too, but in a different way. If the same phenomenon happens to millions of men worldwide, they aren't all idiots. They are placed in these circumstances. When 10 million single men in China become a problem, it is a matter of national security, even war. From birth, men are told that the most important thing in life is to find a woman. 98% of men believe this. But it is a total lie. The most important thing in your life is your own life, not a woman or her children. Think about the school courses on the universe of your personality. You are the sun. You are at the center. Wives, children, parents, and countries are concentric circles around you, decreasing in importance as they move toward the edge of the galaxy. A wife is not the sun of your universe. You can have many wives and even more children. As the old joke goes, is it easier to wash these kids or just make new ones? From kindergarten, female teachers tell boys that girls are the weak sex and must be protected. Listen, in terms of physical strength, some women can outlift many men. Just watch some clips of female athletes. Moreover, women survive infectious diseases better. They have fewer psychoses because society demands less of them and they recover faster. Women are often more resilient and better adapted to life. We have different functions, but the idea that they are the weak sex is a lie. The second lie is that a man must constantly pursue a woman, as if she is some kind of rare prize. Statistics tell a different story. Men are the real rarity. More boys are born, but after the age of 30, women dominate the population by 10% due to the natural mortality of men. The older you get, the more the delta increases. A 50-year-old man who is sane, fit, and not an alcoholic is a diamond. A 50-year-old single woman. They are everywhere. You don't appreciate your own value. Women say they want to return to a primitive state. They want alpha males. They want bananas for sex. Fine, we can do that. Our biological strategy is to fertilize as many females as possible. If women want to live like a primitive troop of primates where they trade sex for resources, why argue? But I have a question for men. Why are you asking one woman for reliability when the strategy has changed? Reliability comes from putting your eggs in different baskets. Stop being a sexual beggar. Why act like a gentleman with people who insist they are not ladies? In a primitive tribe, it was a club to the head and into the bushes. That might be misinterpreted, but you get the point. Women have decided they are queens or privileged beings. It is a lie. Real princesses are rare. Most are just ordinary women. If you don't believe me, ask your wife to film the inside of a women's public restroom. Then compare it to the men's room. You will learn a lot of new things. These women, who are far from royalty, convinced men that they must be served, given money, and provided for. It is a complete fabrication. Your precious feminists cheered for equality for 100 years. Well, here it is. If we are equal, why should one person dedicate their life to providing for the other? Are you a worker and feeding the queen? You are independent people. You can earn your own money for clothes and rent. Go ahead. What changed in the second half of the 20th century? The economy changed. If you don't see the link between female whims and your money, you have tea bags over your eyes. In the 20th century, the balance shifted because capital, banks, and corporations took the side of women. In the 1980s, capitalism faced another crisis. There was nowhere to expand. They needed to find a way to increase consumption within the existing population. The solution was simple: change people's thinking to stimulate internal consumption. Through TV and advertising, they promoted the policy of consumption among women. They told women they must be independent, have their own money, buy designer bags, and invest in themselves. The goal was one thing: to push consumption. They turned holidays like Valentine's Day or March 8th into consumption machines. Capital gets its coin, and that allows for more ads. It is a closed loop. They even make disposable cars now, just to keep the cycle going. Women think the state and capital are on their side. For now, yes. No, remember what happened after the last US elections. The narrative can change in a single day. As soon as big business realizes that the model of squeezing the new oil out of men via women is over, the funding will stop. All these movements will be sent packing. Historically, people negotiated for thousands of years without marketers. We shared things and figured it out ourselves. But the 20th century deformed this with unlimited production and consumption. If a woman understands why she enters a marriage, it should be a union of you and her against everyone else, including the state and society. But when a woman goes to the state for protection or writes a report on her husband, she has chosen a different tribe. Market relations are determined by supply and demand. Female dominance means that many men have to work harder just to have a chance at reproduction. This manipulation of capital made women more capricious. They think they will always have suitors. But then they hit 50, enter the market after a long marriage, and realize no one wants them. They were lied to. There are over 100 million elderly single women in the world. Lenin said that people will always be victims of deception until they learn to look for the interests of classes behind religious or social phrases. But there are a few women, the 2%, who realize the harm of this mass manipulation. They understand that happiness requires something more meaningful than endless consumption. If we have a contract and one side breaks it, the other side is free from obligations. If you decide to change sides and run to the state or a psychologist, don't come back to me asking for justice. And a word to the women. When you say the word divorce, you should only say it once and mean it. For a man, it is like drawing a knife. If you pull it, you must use it. Never say it casually. Because once you say it, the end of your world is already clear. That is all for now. Zmay was with you. Ethology Pro. I have given you enough to think about. Write your thoughts in the comments. May your common sense stay sharp.